Welcome to the Boos and the Bees. Happy St. Patrick's Day edition.
Oh, yeah. We're wearing green. Are
Jazz
you wearing green?
Cabbage edition. I look more green than you.
Mm-hmm. I'm like
This is a
dark green.
Yeah, this is like army green, I feel like.
It is, yeah.
Salute to the Jazz Cabbage.
And the army.
Oh, I'm an Air Force brat. So.
Okay, and the military.
The military.
Yeah.
Yeah, all y'all. All y'all deserve
Y'all are a vibe.
recognition. Even though St. Patrick's Day is going way off topic.
I mean, what do you do?
Isn't this an Irish? This is an Irish holiday, right?
Well,
you should know more about this than me.
He's a saint, and he got all the snakes out of Ireland.
He got all the snakes out?
That's what they said, yeah.
That's why we celebrate today?
Because he was a saint. Jesus, homie.
Oh, what does that mean? Like he knew Jesus?
Yeah, he was like the man.
Oh,
he was a saint.
That old.
That
Jesus
saint.
old.
Yeah, Jesus old.
Oh. I thought was he a leprechaun? Your reaction.
It was like a guy.
A saint.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it's a religious holiday?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because Irish are like Catholic?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I never mean to offend. I'm genuinely sometimes just dumb. So.
Yeah. Like
no, I don't want to call myself dumb.
No.
I'm genuinely just not.
She's smart. She's the smartest.
I just definitely don't remember. I was educated, but.
You like literally can't be educated in all things.
You can't be.
You can't be.
That's very true. But there are some things where it's kind of like, well, you should know that.
Have you ever...
What keeps touching me? Oh, the bunny ear.
Have you ever heard the Nobel Prize syndrome?
No.
Have you ever heard of that? So if you look up Nobel Prize winners, you'll find so many of them are the smartest people in the world in their field. But then they would do crazy things, just like drink mercury, because they think it would heal you. Because it's some kind of heavy metal. And they think everyone else is less smart than them. So they're like, I, being a smart person, obviously know enough about the world to be smart in everything. And so they, even though they did horribly stupid things in life, they thought they were smarter than everybody. And so it's a syndrome where if you're smart in one thing, you think you're smart in all things.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, you're like, I may as well know about this too.
Well, also, I feel like, I don't know, I'm sure not all Nobel Peace Prize winners, not that I know any of them.
Well, Peace Prize and science
is that different?
Is different, yeah.
Oh, and not all Nobel Prize winners, I'm sure are cocky, but I'm sure a lot are also. Because it's like, I got a Nobel Prize. Isn't that like a lot of money?
It's just world renowned. I imagine you
get money too.
I don't know.
I'm about to Google it now because I'm pretty sure on Friends, the TV show, where I learned a lot I remember Joey was into this girl and she only dated Nobel Prize winners. Joey and Ross were both into her. Remember? Mm-hmm. Charlie, that's her name. And I remember them saying like you win like a ton of money or something.
I'm sure you win some money, but I'm sure if you're
like
a Nobel
for
Prize
whatever
winner,
your thing is, like your research or whatever.
Yeah, but I'm sure you're already pretty wealthy if you're the best in the world at something.
Were you saying something and I interrupted? Were you going on a flow? Because I wanted to ask you do you know about like Nobel Prizes? Like what is that? Yeah,
you invent something and it's really good. Or you figure something else.
Inventor.
It's like say, hey, I found out about DNA. What's DNA? Well, now we know. That's the guy, right? So you basically...
But like, what about new ones? What are they figuring out?
Let's look up what the latest Nobel Peace Prize was.
But you said Peace Prize is different, right? I was going to ask what's
like Obama
the difference?
got one. He's like, I did a bunch of deals with countries so they didn't blow each other up.
Like helped people or something.
Yeah, I fed countries. I don't know how Obama got it. He had the most bombings of like any president ever.
Really?
Yeah, he totally wiped countries out. But did that save enough people to say that he got one? I don't know, but he got one.
Did all presidents get them?
No.
Oh. Well, I assumed not Trump because he's very controversial. But like I thought like Bush was supposed to be like our worst president we talk about.
Everyone is the worst president if you let someone say it that doesn't like him. Nobel Prize winners.
Yeah, don't come for me. I'm not a political person. I don't like talking about it. But when it's like history, politics, that's fine. But like, I don't know. I am, spoiler alert, going to be voting for the first time as a chapter. So I'll do a whole backstory about that. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm just trying to fill in the dead
There
space.
is something here where in 2021, they did a model for Earth's climate and then quantifying variability and reliability predicting global warming. So they found out a little bit more about how global warming works. Another one in 2020 is they did a discovery for black hole formation.
Mm.
And it's a prediction for the theory of relativity. So we know about theories, and they're called, like, it's still the theory of gravity.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, why isn't it the law of gravity? It always works. It's like, because we don't know enough about it to like put numbers to it. We just know it kind of works if things are big.
Mm.
And so if I pull this up and it's like, it's a theory, it's not going to drop, it's still going to fall all the time.
Yeah.
And what makes it a law is that it can't be broken. So like F equals ma, force equals mass times acceleration, is an equation that can never be wrong.
Mm.
It's always correct. Now, if you get down to a quantum scale, which is like little tiny super micro molecules, things act a little differently. But at the end of the day, it probably still goes F equals ma. It's just the mass is so small and the acceleration can be so fast and rapid in different ways that it's hard to calculate. So we need new math, but the principle is still a law because it will always work. No matter how big or small something is, it always works. That's a law. Theory means it works. We don't quite know why. Like the theory of evolution. People are like, well, it's just a theory, so we don't know if it happens. It does happen. It factually happens. Things evolve. How they evolve is different. They don't know how long it takes. They don't know all the mechanisms on why it happens, because we didn't know DNA existed back when the theory of evolution happened. We just knew that, hey, these certain birds have a different beak because they're on an island that has nuts that they need to break. Mm. And so they kind of found out, oh, this type of bird evolved to match its environment. And that the strongest survives, and that's why things change, because this one that's white and this one that's black, the black one lives longer because it lives around a bunch of black rocks, and the white ones get picked off by predators. So the strongest survives, and that's why it stayed. That's why polar bears are white. It's not that there didn't used to be brown bears there. Mm-hmm. It's that they had a mutant child that was a white bear, and the white one was really good at hunting seal, and so it bred, and then the white ones always won because they're in the Arctic where it's white and they're camouflaged.
Yeah.
And so it tended to work better because if you don't know, also polar bears have black skin and white fur.
Oh.
And translucent fur. So it makes them look white because everything around them is white.
That's
and
cool.
So that's
translucent.
Yeah, it's wild. So that's what evolution was, but it was a theory and still is a theory because he didn't know. Darwin bred with his own cousin, in fact.
Oh my gosh. Because
they didn't know how it worked. And then he had, a couple special children and their bloodline didn't go too far. So it's not that he knew everything because he found out about evolution. And that's why there's scientific principles that are theories because we're still working on it. And then down the line, they're like, wait, there's DNA and this stuff happens in DNA. But the principle was still correct that stuff changes over time. And you can trace that easily with bacteria because we know how fast it lives for like a minute and breeds like every 2 seconds. So you can really do a lot of tests with bacteria quickly. Where if your breeding cycle for us is like one generation is 40 years, 30 years, it's like, well, to track how much we change is really difficult. For instance, a lot more people have glasses than ever. It's because back in the day, if you were blind, you just died and that was it. And so you didn't have
yeah, thank gosh.
And now we have glasses. So people who have glasses, that's not a determining factor on if you breed. Right. And then people lose hair, people gain hair. Hairy people, probably pretty great if you lived somewhere really cold with no clothing. But now it's not preferred. People don't tend to like folks with a ton of hair all over. So it's less common nowadays. So you can see that evolution still exists. It's just how long and why and all that's not there. So we can't say it's the law of evolution and put a number to it. It's like, well, if you bred out 100 generations, here's the equation for when you'll actually see change. We don't have that. Therefore, theory. So scientists are always trying to put numbers to things.
I might as well just get jazzy. I can't say anything in this conversation.
Oh yeah, my bad.
No, I'm learning it. Not a bad thing.
But
I'm learning.
That's the science Nobel Prizes, is like, I figured out a mathematical equation to account for this thing we really experience. Because all science is trying to put a number to a real thing that happens. The real thing is always correct. And we can say, oh, well, here's the math. I'm like, that math isn't what's happening, and that math sucks or doesn't apply here. So people try to make a new math that applies to a very specific scenario. They say, okay, like I work on mechanical systems. Let's just say pumps are a mechanical system. There's a lot of math around pumps that is very specific, and they use laws of science, but they apply it specifically to pumps to make the equation smaller and easier to deal with. So you say, oh, well, since this is always how pumps work and always how fluid sits in a tank, these equations work perfectly every time. So we do that because it's easier. So we're still coming out with stuff, and I'm sure someone's going to cure some disease and be like, they cured it.
I wonder who gives out the prizes.
A bunch of people.
It's
an international board.
A board, people.
Yeah, it's
So it's normally like science. It's not like for like other things.
They have it for physics, chemistry, physiology or medicine, literature, peace, and economic sciences.
Ask about literature. Okay, wow, interesting.
Let's see what happened in literature. One person had a play.
Really?
For his innovative plays and prose, which give voice to the unsayable. That's unreadable. I don't know what the hell that means. And for another person, for the courage and clinical acuity, which she uncovers the roots, estrangement, and collective restraints of personal memory. So someone did some stuff on memory and they thought that was really cool.
The first one sounds like it's like someone speaking for people who can't talk, like people who are mute, maybe?
Man,
that's what I took from it.
Give voice to the unsayable.
A play. That's cool.
His plays, it's not one play. So it's normally like a lifetime of work. And so a lot of these people, it's kind of like a lifetime achievement. Is like if you've done a lot of stuff for a long time and it's helped a lot of people, then you get this. Or if it's like science and chemistry, maybe you're a whiz and you're like 20 with one of those crazy brains and you figure some science equation out real quick, then you could get one young. But most of those people spent their whole life doing science and they figured out one equation and that's why they get it. So these people would be on their lifetime of work in literature. Another one is for her unmistakable poetic voice that with austere beauty makes individual existence universal. Like what?
Wow. Yeah, and I'm sure if I read some of the stuff too, it would be like beyond my comprehension. I feel like some of the poetry maybe, or even the plays or the books. And it sounds so, I mean, who knows? I'm so happy I'm getting into reading again. Now I want to read my book, but
yeah. And then there's another one
day
here.
I could read some Nobel Prize
and
books.
It's for economic sciences and for the methodological contributions to the analysis of causal relationships. So like cause and effect. So basically looked at, hey, this does that. And obviously 2023, it's for understanding women's labor market outcomes. It's like all about, just diversity credit in that one. But,
interesting. So like,
another one is labor economics. They just look at, do we need people to do work kind of stuff, I guess.
Like we probably couldn't get one for like, could we get one for helping millions of people online?
You probably could. Yeah. If you did something that was really great in that one.
Yeah.
Unless somebody made the COVID vaccine.
It's funny. I didn't think we would go St. Paddy's Day to talk about Nobel Prizes. This would be an interesting title.
St. Paddy's Day and Nobel Prizes. Yeah. The COVID-19 vaccine person got one.
Huh.
So they got a Nobel Prize for physiology. So medicine, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We apparently didn't know where the receptors for temperature and touch were until like 2021, I guess, because that's what they won a Nobel Peace Prize for, or Peace Prize, geez, a Nobel Prize for. And so that's like one of those things I was saying about the cause of things like acne, where it's like, well, it's that time of the month, your hormones cause acne and you need hormones, but there's some trigger in your body that causes the acne part. And so we don't know exactly where that is, or people could stop it. Maybe we do. I don't know for all those people. They're like, yeah, we have meds for it. I don't know that. But this person just found out where the sensors for our touch was, for temperature and touch. So we obviously know we can sense temperature. We obviously know we can feel things. Mm-hmm. We know our nerves have feelings, but we didn't know where the sensors were, like where that mechanism was in your body. I guess they found that out in 2021. They got a prize for it because like, hey, that's important. We need to know if we're trying to help people who have, constant burns or something, how we can stop that or help regain it or whatever. You need to know where the sensor occurs. So they study their whole life and they're like, what's this little thing in here that no one's looked at? Because there's so much to look at. And they find out new stuff.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Wow. The more you know.
The more you know. Okay, are we back to St. Paddy's Day?
We can wrap it up. Yeah, with St. Paddy's Day. Then we got to get going.
Oh, yeah. This was a quick one. Quick episode.
I know. Sometimes we've been doing like really longer ones and we get deep into them.
I like the short ones. I think they're good. I think people
like
them more. Do they like them more? What is the audience
I don't know. That one that had the best views was the longer one. But it could have been the title. Most likely. So
do we just title it that the whole time? No. It's just the same title on repeat. And you can watch
it was our psychopaths and near-death experience episode. Mm-hmm. It had like 66 views in a day. That was really good for us.
It's massive.
So
we're big time.
Big time. We're moving on up. Oh, shout out to Leviani for this shirt, by the way. Also a nice supporter of the Booze and the Bees podcast. So shout out. I know you're watching for my shirt that was perfect for St. Paddy's Day. My jazz cabbages. It's so cute.
Yeah, we're going to be cutting cabbage later.
We are. And getting jazzy. All of those things. And doing a whole dinner with our friends and stuff. Yep.
And working. What are we doing? On St. Paddy's Day, we're working and everyone else is drinking?
We'll figure it out. We'll see.
You know what I never understood, though? Is you're not allowed to drink to excess, according to the Bible. You're allowed to drink, but not to excess. But then St. Paddy's Day is the biggest drink to excess holiday in the world, and it's literally about a saint. Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Well, what do you think the saint himself was like getting that drunk on? Well, he didn't have his day, I guess, when he was alive.
He's just... whatever day it was the week. Just that day.
So someone in charge was like, all right, on this day, we're all drinking.
We're all hammered. Or we just invented it and did it. For like Christmas, it used to just be the winter solstice. And then all the heathens would go out and get drunk in the winter. Heathens. All those heathens. And then the Roman Catholics were like, yo, dude, hello. We're celebrating Jesus every day. What are you doing? And they're like, we're drinking to the moon. And they're like, dude, you're not allowed to drink to the moon. That's not allowed. You got to drink to Jesus. And they're like, nah, dude, we're drinking. Stop it now. No. Like, okay, well, really the reason why you're drinking is because Jesus was born today. They're like, we don't care, dog. We're just drinking. If we have to say that's why, whatever, throw a cross up. And so it's like no one knows when he was born. They just say it was Christmas because it fits to like convert a bunch of people. Because they're like, we're not going to stop doing this. Mm-hmm. Like, well, it's because of Jesus. And they're like, fine. I don't care. We're still partying.
Y'all say what makes you happy. We're going to keep doing our thing. Y'all do your thing.
Do your thing. And then thousands of years later, people are like, Jesus was born today. And like, we do not know that. There's nothing that says that. All we do know is that people were partying and they were saying it was for the moon. They're like, not moon, God. This is why. And they called it Christmas for Christ even. They're like, winter solstice, that's garbage. It's Christmas, so you never forget it's about Jesus.
Oh my gosh. That was a great way to wrap it up. That's funny.
All right.
Love y'all. Guffaw. I'm pinching you if you're not wearing green.
Ah. Oh wait, I'm wearing green.
But kisses anyway for everyone.